What is up, YouTubers? This is Harpy189, and the voices in my head coming at you from the Duelist Den. And for today's video, we'll be going over the top 10 decks that I think could be making a huge impact now that the ban list has finally dropped. Now, these decks are in no particular order, so keep that in mind before you start shitposting me down in the comment section below. The top 5 are more likely to make an impact than the bottom 5, but other than that, they're not really in any particular order. So let's go ahead and get started with this list. At number 10, I have Cosmos. Now, Cosmos, the hype for them started back up when Age of Persuasion won a regional event a couple weeks ago using this deck. He got first place using Cosmo deck, and the hype really just started back up for him. And now that Zeus and True Dracos got nerfed on the ban list, I feel we could see a lot more people using this deck. At the number 9 spot, I have Twilight Swarms. Now, Twilight Swarm was already a very powerful deck before the ban list dropped. And with this ban list, they got even more powerful with access to 3 Charger Light Brigades, 3 Honest, and 2 Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning. We could see a huge influx of this deck, especially the Twilight and Chaos War variants for this deck. At number 8, we have Paleozoic Frogs. Now, Paleozoic Frogs will have to wait for Miss Starboy to be released here in the TCG, which happens next month, before they make their impact again. But before the link mechanic with full power Zoo and full power True Draco, this was one of the decks that could go head to head with them, but pre-link mechanic anyway. And with Miss Starboy being released next month, I feel that they are going to be making a huge surge again. Number 7, I have Pendulum Magicians. Now, a lot of big YouTubers are saying Pendulum Magicians are going to be one of the 5 best decks around. And they're mainly saying that because Wavering Eyes got unbanned. Here's the issue with that. Pendulum Magicians are still a Pendulum-based deck. So they are still limited by what they can do because of the link mechanic. So while we may see a small surge of Pendulum Magician players, they are still essentially nerfed because of the new mechanic, which is why they're so low on this list. At number 6, I have World Chalice. Now, World Chalice could already do a bunch of stuff with the ability to search their deck, perform multiple normal summons in a turn, go into multiple link plays in a turn. They could already do all that before the ban list, but with the ban list, they have access to a card that I'm sure a lot of people have not thought about with the deck, and that is Rescue Rabbit. Now, there's a few World Chalice monsters that are normal monsters and can be targeted with Rescue Rabbit. So, Rescue Rabbit gives them a whole new layer of playing for this deck, as it gives them access to even more special summons to go into more link plays, to go into just more of whatever the hell crazy shit that they want to fucking do. Now, while we were on the topic of Rescue Rabbit, that brings us to my number 5 spot, which of course is Dinos. Now, Dinos did get a major hit with Grand Soil being banned, Denlong being banned, and Miscellaneous going down to 1. But with Rescue Rabbit being unbanned completely, that reopens them to their Dino Rabbit plays. So, although they did get hit in one aspect, the ban list opened up even more aspects for the deck to use. So the deck, I don't think, is gotten even slowed down with the ban list. It just opens up, it's just going to be played a little bit differently than it has been being played. Number 4 is, of course, True King True Dracos. Now, True King True Dracos, we all were hoping Masterpiece and or Diagram would get hit on the list. Unfortunately, they were not. So this deck still has access to 3 Masterpiece, 3 Diagram, and 3 Terraforming. So it is still a very powerful deck. The only thing that really happened was their 2 main searchers being Dynamite being banned and Ignister Heat getting limited, and those were the 2 main searchers for the deck. They just got a slap on the wrist. Furthermore, True King's Return did get limited, so they still have access to at least 1 copy of it. So this deck, although it is a little bit slower now, is not dead. So we can still expect to see a lot of True King players floating around in this format. Number 3, I have Trickstars. Now, Trickstars are already a very, very powerful deck in the meta, and they don't even have all of their support here in the TCG. That support is coming pretty soon. Hopefully, it'll come out in Circuit Breakers. We don't know because we haven't really gotten a lot of Circuit Breaker spoilers or leaks. But hopefully the rest of the support for Trick Stars will come out in Circuit Breakers, which I feel once they do have that support, it'll push the deck up a little bit more. But even without that support, they can easily OTK your opponent. They have access to Triple Honest now. If you're running Chaos variant, they have access to 2 Blackluster Soldiers now. They can also be mixed in with the Wind Witch engine, with Kaijus. You know, the deck is very, very powerful, and it can use multiple engines to help them, especially if they have to go second. Number 2 I have as Invoked. Invoked, again, is another deck or engine that can be splashed into a whole lot of stuff. You have Wind Witch Invoked, you have True King Invoked, you have Spellbook Invoked. There's just a whole lot of things that Invoked can do, a whole lot of things it can be mixed with. It is, in my opinion, one of the most versatile archetypes to ever exist, as it can be splashed in with so much stuff. And of course, the number 1 spot is Spirals. Now, the reason Spirals is so high on this list, not just at the number 1, but in the top 5 is what I mean by that, is because A, they are getting more support in Circuit Break. That has already been confirmed. Furthermore, even without that support, they are still a very powerful deck. They can do a whole bunch of crazy stuff. They can control what's on top of your opponent's deck. They can look at what's on top of your opponent's deck, giving them valuable information on how they're going to have to make their plays. It is a very, very powerful deck, and it just has so much support. It can do so much. It really deserves to be in the top 5 on this list, even without the new support that they are getting in Circuit Breaker. But anyway, that's it for this list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought about it down in the description box below. What are some decks you think could be making a huge splash during this format? As always, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, this is Harpy Hunter 89 and the voices in my head. We just want to say Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not just a game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is life.